It's Electric Focus, and I recently put out a video about the Jaguar I-PACE recall, H441 it's called, as I found out subsequent to that. And this video is just a bit of a more detailed look at what the recall is about, and also all the things you need to know if you've got a Jaguar I-PACE and haven't yet had it done. So let's get straight into the video. So Jaguar and Land Rover have put out a recall called the H441 recall for the Jaguar I-PACE, and this impacts models from 2019 to 2024, but it only impacts certain models, and we'll come on to that because we're going to have a look at the detail in a questions and answer document that I've managed to obtain. So let's have a look at that now. So we'll go through, not all the questions, we'll go through what I think are the key ones. We'll start off with the first three. So why is Jaguar Land Rover recalling certain Jaguar models? JLR is conducting a voluntary safety recall involving certain 2019 to 2024 model year Jaguar I-PACE vehicles due to a risk of thermal overload within the HV battery, high voltage battery. Now, it's important to note there's certain 2019 to 2024, and we'll come on to that. Question 2 is, can you tell me more about what is wrong with the vehicles? Answer, a vehicle thermal overload condition can lead to fire or smoke, so resulting in increased risk of occupant injury and or to persons outside the vehicle, as well as property damage. So, sounds a bit scary, doesn't it? How would the customer become aware of potentially having this concern? Question 3. Where there is detected HV battery issue, an instrument panel cluster warning such as traction battery fault and stop safety battery fault may be displayed. In extreme cases, a popping sound and burning smell may be experienced. Smoke and potentially flames may be seen. So this is from the experience of where there have been a few reported fires. So that's quite scary if that happened to you. So hopefully the software update will make sure that that doesn't happen, and your car will go in before there's any chance of that happening. But this is why this recall has come into play. Now we're going to skip a couple of questions, go down to question 6. Have there been any accidents or injuries or fires? There have been no reports of accidents, injuries related to this concern, of which JLR is aware. There have been reports of vehicle fires. So, good news, there's been no injuries, but there definitely has been some fires, which is not so good news. We're now going to skip a few of those questions and go down to question 11, which I think is pretty key. So what will authorised repairers do to the vehicles? Recall vehicles will receive an update to the BECM software that will monitor the HV battery electrical state and provide a warning where the HV battery electrical health deteriorates to a state which may lead to thermal overload condition. This software provides an enhanced level of driving warnings in relation to the HV battery condition, and where the software determines a risk exists, the HV battery charging capacity is limited to up to 75%. So that's really the key part there. So if this happens and you've had this software installed, the software is going to detect that there's a problem, and then it will reduce your capacity to charge only up to 75%. And you'll need to take the vehicle in to have it looked at, and any parts or battery components or the whole battery will be replaced to fix the problem. And question 12, will the software be rolled out through software over the air? And the answer to that is simply, we'll cut through all this because it's probably better answered in question 14, but it's only 2019 to 2020 vehicles that will need to go in, and 2020 to 24 they'll be done over the air. You can take the car in if you would like, but it's not required for models 2021 onwards. And if you look at question 14, which vehicles are affected by this recall, it says 2019 to 2024 model year, but it's only the vehicles between those numbers. Now we're going to skip a few questions and we'll go down to the last couple of questions. How long does it take for the car to be repaired? The The work will be completed as quickly and efficiently as possible in order to minimise inconvenience to customers and is expected to take no longer than 39 minutes to complete. Naturally, due to retailer authorised repairer schedules, vehicles may be required for longer. And I'll come on to that one because of my experience. So question 20, can I continue to drive my Jaguar I-PACE vehicle safely until it is being recalled? And this is pretty important, this one, if you haven't actually, one, heard about the recall and two, had the recall done yet. In line with recommendations made by manufacturers who have had similar issues, and that's probably related to the Chevy Bolt, customers should park away from structures until such time as the recall has been completed. Where possible, charge outside. Some vehicles also provide a charging limit feature that can be used by customers to limit the charge level. Customers may, until the recall is completed, set the charge limit to 75%, and instructions how to do that. It says go onto Jaguar website, or the owner's manual. So that's pretty key actually, isn't it? So it's saying keep it outside, park, only charge outside, and keep it really away from buildings. Well, it's up to you what you do about that, but that is a recommendation, I suppose, of covering themselves if it suddenly caught fire and then set fire to your house, which wouldn't be a good thing. So that's it. So now let me tell you about my own experience. So I've got a 2020 model, so mine had to go in. I have taken mine in already, but actually they failed to do the update. They said they tried several times. I waited a good couple of hours and thought that it was being done and that I was being called to say it was ready, but they called me in and then said that actually they'd not been able to do it. It failed several times, and therefore I had to take the car away, and I've had to wait for them to check with Jaguar as to what they need to do, and that's been actually 3 weeks now, and I've been chasing regularly. And I've recently got an answer from Jaguar, my local dealer, to say that I needed to take it in again, which I'm doing next week, to have it again looked at, and they're going to keep the car all day to see if they can resolve the issue. So that's been my experience so far. So let's just summarize then this recall overall. So first of all, it's a safety recall. So you can see there's some risks. Make sure you get it done as soon as possible. I'm trying to get mine done, and hopefully mine will be done next week. But make sure you get it done. That's number one, safety, of course. The second thing is it only impacts certain models. So go on to the Jaguar website, enter your VIN number and see if your model's impacted, or just phone your local Jaguar dealership and they will tell the same. The next thing is that if it's a 2019-2020 model, you'll need to take it into the dealership. If it's 2021 to 2024 model, then it can be done over the air. And when the software update has been done, if it detects a fault, then you'll need to get it into the Jaguar dealership, and you'll also be restricted to only be able to charge up to 75%. So you'll want to get that in pretty quickly, and they will have a look at the issue, replace any cells that need to be replaced, or in the worst case, replace a whole battery free of charge. So that's it. I hope that was useful. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.